Hi guys, in this lesson we are going to talk about mutable and immutable types. Mutable types, like dictionaries and lists, are objects whose values can be changed after creation. This means you can create them and modify them later. Immutable objects, on the other hand, are objects whose state cannot be changed after creation. An operation that seems to modify an immutable object actually creates a new object instead. Immutable objects include the int, float, string, tuple, and frozen set. So, let's try to understand this concept better. LST equal mutability. Parentheses. Let's create the function. Mutable equals square brackets 1, 2, 3. New line, print, parentheses, f string, initial list, column, curly brackets, mutable. Now let's take also the ID, ID, column, curly brackets, ID, parentheses, mutable. New line, let's create a nested function, def, modify list, parentheses, L, column, new line, print, parentheses, f string, inside function, parentheses, before modification, column, curly brackets, L, comma, \t, ID, column, curly brackets, ID, parentheses, L. Let's copy this line and let's change before into after. In between, L dot append parentheses 4. And we are not returning anything. Modify underscore list, parentheses, mutable. Print, parentheses, f string, final list, column, curly brackets, mutable, comma, ID, column, curly brackets, ID, parentheses, mutable. New line, return, mutable. And let's run it. As you can see, the idea of our mutable list has always been the same. It never changed throughout the function. Even after we modified it inside the function, the ID remained the same. This demonstrates that mutable objects retain their ID even when their content changes. Now, let's analyze immutability. S equal immutability, parentheses, immutable equal quotation mark hello, new line, print, f string, initial string, column, curly brackets, immutable, comma, ID, column, curly brackets, ID, parentheses, immutable. Let's create the nested function, def, modify underscore string, parentheses, s, column, new line, print, parentheses, f string, inside function, parentheses, before modification, column, curly brackets, s, comma, \t id, column, curly brackets, id, parentheses, s. Let's copy this line and let's change before to after. Between these two prints, s plus equal, quotation mark, word. This is like an append for a string. And then, in this case, we have to return s. New line, let's call this function modify underscore string, parentheses, immutable. New line, print, parentheses, f string, final string, parentheses, unchanged, column, curly brackets, immutable, comma, id, column, curly brackets, id, parentheses, immutable. And let's run it. As you can see, as soon as we modify the string, its ID changes too. Additionally, if we check the original string after the function call, it remains unchanged. This is a clear example of how we need to manage mutable and immutable objects differently. So, to keep the modification applied to an immutable object, you need to return the modified value and assign it to the original variable. Let's do it. Immutable equal modify underscore string, parentheses, immutable. Let's copy the print, paste. Now let's modify unchanged into changed. Line, return, immutable. And let's run it. As you can see, this approach preserves the modification of the string while creating a new separate object with a distinct ID. Mutability and immutability are topics strictly related to hashability. Some objects are hashable while others are not. Mutable objects are usually not hashable, whereas immutable objects are hashable. A hashable object can be used as a key in a dictionary or as an element in a set. How we can check if an object is hashable? Using the hash function. Let's do it. Def hashability, parenthesis, lst, comma, s, column, new line, print, parenthesis, hash, parenthesis, s. New line, let's try to hash also the list, try, column, new line, print, parenthesis, hash, parenthesis, lst. New line, except type error as e, column, new line, print, parenthesis, e. And let's call this function hashability, parenthesis, lst, comma, s. and let's run it. And as you can see, the string has been hashed. The list, which is mutable, returned a type error. So let's recap. Lesson 03 hyphen mutable and immutable. We learn about mutable and immutable objects. We discussed hashable and unhashable objects. And we learned a bit more about the ID and hash functions. For this lesson it's enough. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.